Hey everyone, this is KK O'Connor, student athlete for Winnemac, and you are listening to the Winnemac Athletic Podcast.
Welcome to the Winnemac Athletic Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by First Federal Savings Bank. They don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Sanders Foods. Whatever you're looking for, you'll find it at your hometown grocery store. Riverside Rentals. Discover canoeing, kayaking, and lazy river tubing right here in Winnemac. Action Plumbing and Heating for all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Been serving people since 1994. And now, the voice of the Winnemac Athletic Podcast, Justin Ruff.
Hello. Welcome to episode 10 of the Winnemac Athletic Podcast, bringing you closer and closer to Winnemac Athletics, an inside look to the athletic program, communicating with players, coaches, Winnemac alums. How's it going, everyone? My name is Justin Ruff, Winnemac alum, and the voice of the Winnemac Athletic Podcast. Super excited to extend this tradition with you today on the Winnemac Athletic Podcast, going over and covering the heart of the Winnemac Athletics. We have a lot to go over today. It's behind the scenes episodes, really digging deep on what goes behind the scenes when it comes to managers, assistant coaches, supporting staff, parents, everybody that helps out in events. We do have Brian Leverance, our athletic director, coming on. He's our first guest of the day. He will go through our athletic interns, what all they do behind the scenes when it comes to setting up events, doing the little stuff, fun stuff. Just all that's behind the scenes that we normally don't do. So we have our athletic director, Brian Leverance, coming in and going through all that. He will also go through so far the look of the fall season of the 2024 season, going over all the sports and all that fun stuff. We do have a few coaches on today. We do have Coach Jeremy Shell. He will talk about his conference meet that they just had. And then next week, they do have a big one, sectionals. Next Monday, they will go to Monticello at 9 a.m. That is when sectionals begins for the girls golf team, so good luck for them. Soccer today, they do have a game, a home game for soccer. Good luck to Coach Badillo and the squad there. They will take on Rensselaer, who is sitting 1-3-1. Then they have another game on Thursday. That one will be away at Culver Community High School. We'll see if we can steal one there at the Cavaliers field. Volleyball, we do have Coach Caston on today. She will go over her past matchups and her managers as well. She will go through what all they do behind the scenes. Last night, they took on North Miami, a really good North Miami team. They're sitting at 13-5. They ended up falling to them in 3 sets. And then Thursday, they take on an Oregon Davis team. That will be a home. They're sitting at 1-14, so they hopefully a beatable Oregon Davis team that they can protect their home and get back in the win column for our Winnemac volleyball squad. So good luck to Coach Caston and them. Cross country, they took a visit to Mechaniqua, did pretty well, has some pretty good PRs. Congratulations to Logan Friedel, as he broke under 17. That was one of his goals, and that was big-time stuff there. They traveled to New Prairie, a regional course. That will be this Saturday at 9 a.m., so good luck to both squads there as they travel to New Prairie. Football team that became victorious Friday against Culver. Really good game there, 22-14. They take on another conference opponent against Triton Trojans. That will be homecoming this Friday at 7 p.m. Triton's pretty good. They're 3-1 right now. Really good squad there. So Coach Burgess and the Winnemac football team, they will have their hands full this Friday. So make sure you come out and support our Winnemac football squad. So like I mentioned, we do have a full lineup today. We will bring on, first up, we will bring on our athletic director. He will go through his view on this so far, this fall season, and he will go over the interns that he has for this 2024 season. So, hey, you're doing it. This is the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
It's time for the Warrior Guest of the Day. Let's return to the voice of the Winamac Athletic Podcast, Justin Ruff.
Welcome back to the Winamac Athletic Podcast today. Super excited to bring on the guy who helps keep the wheels turning in this athletic program, our athletic director, Mr. Brian Leverins. How's it going, Mr. Leverins? Thanks again for jumping back on with us today. It's been since episode 1 since we've had you on, and heck, I think we are 8 weeks into this 2024 season since the girls golf started their athletic season July 23rd. But we had you on. Let's talk about, before we dig deep in some other things, let's ask how everything in your eyes, how is everything going this 2024 season?
Hey, Justin, thanks for having me back on. Hey, I just wanted to let you know I think you're doing a fantastic job with this podcast, with our coaches, our student athletes, giving them such great exposure. You know, I can't thank you enough. I know I look forward to listening to this podcast every Tuesday, soon to be Thursday coming up. But yeah, I just want to let you know I think you're doing a fantastic job. So fall sports update. Let's go ahead and jump into that. Fall sports have been going extremely fast. I mean, I can't believe that we're already, planning some limited contact for winter sports and spring sports and doing all of that. Let's start with this past Friday and cheerleading, just a very awesome and surreal environment that we have every time we have little cheer night. Talking to Coach Garbison, I think she said the ending number was 135 little cheerleaders, and I mean it was awesome. Our cheerleading squad, our varsity cheerleading squad, just does a fantastic job with them, and it definitely helps. The gate, it helps. The environment, the culture. I love seeing our stands absolutely packed. So I can't thank our cheerleaders enough for doing, that. I mean, it takes, it's an all week thing. So, I'm very proud of the work that they do. Moving on to cross country here, Coach Haschel has both of our squads running extremely well. We've ran in some really competitive invitationals. We have one coming up at New Prairie, which everyone knows is a tournament course. The teams there will be really good. So it will give, Coach Haschel and our student athletes just a really good base about where they need to heading into the conference and the sectional. And I also have to say congratulations to Coach Haschel on earning his first W of his career as a coach. So congratulations to him. Football sits at 2-1. We obviously lost out on the game week 2 at Frontier. We had lightning weather hit the entire time. Just a really bad weekend for that to happen, as it was Labor Day weekend. So the chances of getting officials for a Saturday are already slim, but then you add in Labor Day weekend, people probably have plans. So we were not able to get that game in. Turned around, played Pioneer pretty much off of a bye. Did not go the way we thought it would, the way we planned. But it was really nice to see us have a nice bounce back game against Culver Community. We started off fast. And then our defense just did a really good job in the second half. So I was really happy for our kids, our community, our coaching staff, for us to get that win. When the stands are packed, it's just, it's fantastic. Girls golf, they just finished their HNAC tournament this past Saturday. They came in third. We had Sierra Haschel. She was our lone all-conference. And then we also had 3 honorable mention in Merce Lamer, KK O'Connor, and Hunter Hines. So having 4 getting honorable mention or all-conference honors is just fantastic. And, I do have to give a really good shout out to Coach Shell with the turnover that he had with losing 4 starters and only having 1 returner and then 2 student athletes in his top 5 who have never played golf before. For him to, just show what it takes, and for us to come in third at the conference is, pretty outstanding. And, I know he's got them moving in the right direction. I know the goal, the plan is, to hopefully get 1 or 2 out at the sectional. So I wish them the best of luck. Soccer right now, they are 2-7. They've played some really tough competition, but their last couple of matches here, offensively, I feel like they've been moving the ball really well. I know against North Miami, we had a couple great looks, just didn't go in. I feel like our squad thinks that we should have won that game, which is great. That's a sectional opponent, HNAC opponent, so chances are we're probably going to see them again. And then we played a really good and athletic Peru team, lost 5-1, but again, had some great looks at goal. Just right there. And if we can make those, it's a whole different match. Volleyball currently sits at 2-11, but if you watch them play, I just feel like we're ahead of where we were last year. Defensively and passing, I think, are really good. Offensively, I think Coach Caston's still trying to, pull some strings, get some things figured out. But I really like watching this team play. I think we have some winnable matches coming up, so I know the girls are excited there. So, I hope here we're just going to start to hit our stride and, get some conference wins and, get ready for the sectional.
Yeah, it's fantastic, Leverance. I do know, heck, these sports are just flying through their seasons. I know with the girls' golf, they just had conference. Now they're approaching sectional time next Monday. These are flying on by, Leverance. And let's talk about with your athletic position, with the athletic director position, you do have some people helping you out in the athletic director interns. So athletic interns that you do have a few helping you out. I do believe this had already started before you jumped on to Winamac. I do believe Bill Ball had some athletic interns. I know when I was in high school, there wasn't such a thing, and I'm kind of a little upset about that this wasn't invented in my day, but I would have jumped right on that bad boy. It sounds fun and enjoyable. But with the interns, Mr. Leverance, let's talk about them first. If you can, give us who's all involved being the interns this year and what their responsibilities are, their duties, their roles, because this is the episode behind the scenes, and I do believe you, yourself, in your role, you do a lot behind the scenes that people don't know about. So I'm sure you throw a lot to these interns that do a lot of, things that people don't really know about. So let's talk about your interns, Mr. Leverance, and what all they do for this athletic program.
Yeah, the athletic internship program was started before I got here. And since I've been here, the groups that I've had have been absolutely fantastic. I try to have athletic interns at least 2 periods a day. Last year, for instance, we had 5th and 7th period. This year, I have my athletic interns in the morning and in the afternoon. So that's a little different. So I had to change a few things up. But so far, it's been fantastic. If I can kind of let everyone behind the scenes here. So my day is pretty much split into 2 different days. From about 7:30 to about 2:45. That's my office time. That is, I'm making sure we have officials lined up, contracts are sent. and events are ready to go. They're extended. I also have duties throughout the day, whether that's lunchroom duty or parking lot duty. So, to me, that is day one. Day two of the same day, if that makes sense, are any time that I have my athletic interns, and then anything that's happening after 2:45. So that's practices, events, and things like that. So my day could range from 7:30 to 5:30, or it can range from 7:30 to 10:30 at night. So having these athletic interns it's absolutely fantastic. They take a few things off of my plate. Once they're trained and know exactly what I want. I do have 5 this year. Cadence Hoover, Sierra Haschel, those are my morning 2. And then I have Eli Budka, Dylan Guilford, and Claire Goodman. One of the criteria of being in athletic internship is you have to be a student athlete. For one, it helps when we're setting up events. They already kind of know. And 2, it kind of gives them a little bit more pride of what they're doing. And I really like that aspect of it. So the 5 I have this year are and have been absolutely fantastic. To kind of dive into what they do for me. So the first month and a half is me teaching them and them shadowing me of exactly how to set up events, how to do inventory in our concession stand, how to stock our concession stand, which, people may not realize it can be tricky. You got to make sure the older stuff is up front, new stuff in back. It's actually one of the hardest things that our athletic interns have to do. So they end up being in charge of, in the fall and the spring, they're in charge of 3 concession stands. In the winter, obviously everything gets pulled inside. We have the one concession stand. They end up being in charge of setting up events, whether that's chairs, scoreboards, sometimes nets, flags out at soccer, ticket tables, officials' locker rooms, the pylons out at football, the press boxes. So for the first month and a half of the school year, that is me allowing them to shadow, showing them, teaching them exactly how I need it to be. The next month and a half is I'm allowing them to go out there, kind of do it without me standing there. And then I'll go back around and just double check. And then after that, they're pretty much on their round. They're giving me the inventory sheets for concessions. They're coming in, checking the boxes, or obviously erasing my whiteboard, saying that they got that done. So it's been really good program to have here. They do a really, really good job. So we are actually in the process. We're in the second month and a half where they're now kind of going out and doing things on their own. Some things they've done for me in the past, we've moved around some of our trophy cases, so they've been in charge of that. They were extremely helpful with taking pictures for our Hall of Fame touch screen that we have. So, things like that, helping put up signage and all of that for our events. So, and I can't, thank them enough for the work that they do. And like I said, I've been extremely blessed with the groups and the student athletes that I've had so far. If I had to say, the hardest seasons for them are probably the fall and the spring. They have 3 or 4 different fields that they have to get ready. Sometimes, they come in, they're sweaty, they're dirty. They sometimes have to clean a press box or, take out trash, things like that, most people might not ever see. Their easiest one is probably during the winter months, because everything's inside. The concession stand, the inventory for that's pretty simple setting up. It's the exact same setup every single time. But if I had to guess, I would probably say fall and spring are probably their favorites. They get to drive the Gator. They get to drive the golf cart to help, set up events. I mean, without this program, my day would look a whole lot different. I wouldn't be able to get some of this stuff in office done as quickly as I would like. But the 5 I have this year are fantastic.
That's fantastic, Mr. Leverance. This is a fantastic thing. I love the idea. Like I mentioned, if this was a thing when I was in high school, I would have jumped right on it. It really gives these students an idea. If they do want to become an athletic director in life, or they do want to become the next Brian Leverance, it's a great thing to jump on and kind of gives the kids have their eyes open to what duties and responsibilities an athletic director tackles. So I absolutely love the idea. It's a great idea, and it's great that you guys, this school, has that athletic intern spot. So pretty awesome stuff there. Mr. Leverage, do you have any last words or comments, any news or anything that you would like to share with us today?
Justin, I think you would have loved being an athletic intern, just being around you a little bit. I know you would have loved doing all of that stuff. So from a news standpoint, I guess, we do have homecoming this Friday, 9:20 against Triton. That will be a 7 p.m. kickoff. And, last week we had Ben's Pretzel Truck. So this week we actually have Darlene's Taste of Texas, that food truck coming in. So we are really excited about that. From a news standpoint, I think that's probably it. If I have to leave our Warrior Nation with anything, I would say, hey, come on out, keep coming out, support our student athletes. They do a great job. They work extremely hard, and I love seeing new faces in the crowd. So please come on out and support our student athletes. And Justin, like I said before, thank you for everything that you've been doing for us. It's just been absolutely fantastic. Keep up the good work, and I can't wait to be on again.
Hey, thanks a lot, Mr. Leverance, for the kind words and sharing all the information behind the scenes on our Winamac interns there, and sharing all the news you have for our fall sports and upcoming events and stuff like that. Pretty awesome news about the new food there coming. Barbecue, absolutely love that. I loved the pretzels last week, and this week it's even as good. So thank you so much for that info, and thank you so much for doing what you're doing. Absolutely doing a great job. That was our athletic director for our Winamac Warriors, Mr. Brian Leverance. Now, we will move on to the lineup we have today. We have an array of coaches coming up. They will discuss their recent activities, their recent matchups and games. Then they will talk about, also similar to what Mr. Brian Leverance talked about, behind-the-scenes episode, which involves managers, assistant coaches, what all they do, what all rules and responsibilities they do behind the scenes that we normally don't see, and give a spotlight to all of them. That helps. Heck, they're kind of like the ducks' paddles underneath the water, just paddling away for this athletic program. So we will start that lineup. First off, we have the girls golf team coach, Jeremy Shell. He will talk about his conference that they just had. Hey, you're doing it. You're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Sierra Haschel, student athlete for Winamac High School, and you're listening to Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Welcome back to the Winamac Athletic Podcast. Today, we are super excited once again to have the head coach of the Winamac girls golf team, and Coach Jeremy Shell. How's it going, Coach? Hey, thanks a lot again for jumping on and talking with us today. You have, Coach, a lot of things to go over today, important things to talk about, and one of them being your last matchup, your last meet at Rochester, the Hoosier North Athletic Conference. Let's talk about that. We have to know, of course, people probably saw, this is Tuesday, this event happened, Saturday, but we have to know inside info of everything that happened, who finished what, how the team do and stuff like that, your conference last Saturday, Coach.
Hey, Justin, thanks for having me back on. Yeah, so it was a pretty good tournament for us. Unfortunately, we finished third. Would have loved to make it 5 in a row, but Yeah, that's pretty tall order. Finished third behind North Miami and North Judson. The girls really did play well. Had Sierra Haschel make all conference, which is pretty awesome. She's worked really hard. I was happy to see her able to achieve that. And then had 3 girls get honorable mention. So Hunter Hines, again, well deserved. She's been putting in the time. Rochelle Lamer, it's her second year playing golf. So really pretty excited for that one too. And then Kaylin O'Connor, her first year out. And yeah, for her, it's been a struggle. She kind of got the snap hooks the past couple weeks, and even the other night against North Judson, they were still there. So we kind of figured some stuff out Friday night at practice, and she went out and shot a 115, which was pretty awesome. But yeah, just overall super proud of the girls. They worked hard all season long, and unfortunately we just come up a little bit short. But yeah, it was a good tournament for us, I'd say.
Coach, it's just, it kind of blows my mind. And we've talked about this off air. I'm going to talk about it on air. It's wild to me how some of your golfers, they haven't been doing this very, very long, Coach. And here I am. One of my reasons why I say I'm not good is I don't golf a lot, and I don't put enough time in it. These girls come in and they golf, and they should be golfing. Me, I shouldn't be out there. I do it for enjoyment, a little communication, but they're going out there, they're competing, and they're actually getting honored and getting a ribbon or, a medal or being honorable mention or being part of that stuff. And heck, that's just wild to me. I mean, prime example, KK, like you mentioned, just picked this up in June, and look at her now. Honorable mention. It's fantastic to me. And I know Lamer hasn't been doing it very much longer than her. I mean, I think she golfed last year, but still, this is not an easy sport. It's no cupcake sport, Shell. And it's just wild to me how these girls are where they're at right now. I don't know if I should tip the hat to you or, the bus driver. I don't know, but something's going on that's pretty good. Of course, team-wise, we didn't repeat it, which, you can be mad at us for that, but if you look at all the girls that you lost last year and how much these girls improved, it's fantastic. I love what I'm seeing, Coach. Good for you and your squad. We got next week, we do have sectionals, and then it's over. Well, possibly, hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can advance some golfers. But next Monday, Coach, we have sectionals, and that will be at Twin Lakes. Let's talk about that course. You guys just went there, so you're familiar with it. First of all, who's all in there? Who's all in that sectional, and what needs to happen to for a team to advance and for individuals to advance?
Yeah, so Rochester is the heavy favorite. I think they're currently ranked like 12th in the state, and they're solid from 1 through 5. I mean, they're very good. And then followed by them would probably be Logansport. Logansport kind of came out of nowhere, really. Last season they kind of snuck in and made it out of sectionals in that 3rd spot, and then this year they're good. They're a solid team as well. Barring anything dramatic happening, that should be your 1 and 2. And then 3 is kind of up for grab. I would say Rensselaer and KV are probably favored to sneak in there and take that 3rd spot. We're going to have to shoot something probably south of 370, which, just considering the inexperience we have, anything's possible. It's golf, but I mean, we're going to have to play kind of out of our mind really to reach that. I do have a couple girls I think that could surprise some people individually. Sierra obviously has been playing some pretty strong golf. She's shooting, mid 90s pretty consistently. I don't think it would be a stretch for her to throw down an 85. And I think if she could get something in the mid 80s would be pretty close. I mean, I think that would definitely, most years it would get you out. And it's just kind of tough to predict sometimes though, because a team could sneak in and surprise some people and bump a team. And then that just changes the whole landscape of the best 3. So yeah, I guess kind of how it works would be the top 3 teams get in, and then the top 3 individuals not on an advancing team get in. So you've got Pioneer's got the McKay girl. She's a solid golfer. And then if you bump Rensselaer, their 1 through 4 could could easily shoot an 85. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy to try to predict this sometimes, but I would say I've got a couple individuals that could give themselves a chance. Team-wise, I mean, we would have to play, well outside of what our best golf has been to do it. But hey, you never know. I mean, we're gonna keep grinding it out the rest of this week and be as ready as possible, and hope for something crazy to happen, I guess.
That's fantastic, Coach. Well, good luck. Represent the Warriors well. We do have to talk about something else. Behind the scenes episode, really diving deep into your managers, any assistant coaches, or any parents, or anybody that behind the scenes should be shouted out that's really helped you out this year. I know you do have a manager, so I'm going to have you talk about her. But anybody else, Coach, that you have on the list that you feel like should deserve a shout out, or just digging deep in what all they do, all the responsibilities and roles that they might have for your golf team.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, obviously my wife. She's put up with a lot of stuff for me throughout the years, and this is one of them. I mean, she's very supportive of me doing this, so I can't thank her enough. And then even with the team, I mean, she was a big part of kind of helping us get our uniforms ordered, and she's been doing that. And then, helping with senior night and stuff like that. So just fantastic to have that support. And then no assistant coaches, but I did have Mitch Wolf. His daughter Brianna was a freshman this year, so he came out this summer and really helped out with the girls. His knowledge with the game is wild. I mean, he's very, very talented golfer and can really help break down a golf swing. So appreciate all the help he had out with us this summer. And then I got a manager, which is my 7th grade daughter. So Sophia, she was a manager last year too. So it's kind of special to have her around that team, some of those talented girls there. So she really got to see some good golf being played and saw what it takes to get to that level. And, she really took to it, and she's herself been working pretty hard. And I mean, she's got a pretty solid game. So, for a 12-year-old, she hits the ball well. She's got a good grasp of how to get around a golf course already. A strong putter, which is fantastic. I mean, that was the worst part of my game for a long time. So, yeah, excited to have her around. We're able to get her a match against North Miami, has an 8th grader. So she got to play against her last year in this season. So that was good. It was a good experience for both those girls. So Sophia really went to work after losing by 9 shots to the girl last year. And then this year, Sophia beat her by 5 or 6, I believe. So, yeah, she's putting in the time now. So hopefully she sticks with it. And by the time she gets to high school, she should be a pretty tough little player. So, yeah, just thanks to my wife, Kristen, and Mitch Wolf, and then my daughter, Sophia, for all their help this season.
Well, that's fantastic, Coach. Absolutely love to hear that your daughter's on there and helping out, and just, having her head as a sponge, soaking in all this knowledge, being around the sport. That's fantastic. Good for you. Good for her in your squad. That's awesome stuff. Well, Coach, next week, next Monday, no big deal. You have the sectionals. Good luck there at Monticello, Twin Lakes, 9 a.m. You guys are getting out of school. Holy cow, that's awesome. Well, hey, good luck. Do you have any last words or comments for us today, Coach?
No, man, just thank you for all the support you've showed us this season. I mean, it's been really cool to kind of be part of what you have going on and really kind of get these girls out there. Unfortunately, golf's one of those sports that there's no bleachers out there. Not a lot of people are stacking up to watch these kids play, and I mean, most of them are fine with that, honestly, just because golf is so hard, and sometimes it can be embarrassing when you're out there by yourself. But no, just getting the opportunity to kind of get our name out there, let some of these kids get some recognition is pretty special, man. So I appreciate everything you've done for us.
I appreciate that again, Coach. Thanks a lot. That was the head coach of the Winnemac golf team. They're going at it for sectionals next Monday at Monticello at 9 a.m. So keep your eyes open for any updates there on how they did at Monticello. Hey, you're doing it. You're listening to the Winnemac Athletic Podcast.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Logan Friedel, student athlete for Winamac High School, and you're listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Welcome back to episode 10 of the Winamac Athletic Podcast. Today, we are joined once again by the head coach, Hall of Famer Mikey Haschel of the Winamac cross country teams. How's it going, Mikey? Again, thanks for spending a little bit of your day. Talk about your cross country squad. You have a lot to go over. You had a invitational at Mechaniqua last week. Go ahead and talk about that meet for both squads. It looked like it was a really nice day outside and more time. Didn't look like it was too hot, but it was a good turnout. Go ahead and talk about your squads, Mikey, and how they all did.
Hey, Justin. Thanks for having us back. Yeah, Mechaniqua invite went pretty well. We got off to a little bit of a rough start with a scheduling snafu. Kind of had us there a little later than we're used to. The girls were a bit rushed to get started, but ultimately did well. We had Cadence in the top 20 at 12th, Avery in 18th, Candace Croft in 24th, Claire Goodman in 28th, Maddie Goodman at 52nd, Brody Goodman at 69th, and Jersey Himes at 91st with a PR. We still were able to come through and do pretty well. On the boys' side, we had Logan Friedel was 5th with a PR, got under 17 this time. That was a big deal, 16:53. Dylan Guilford was 17th. Nate Pachowski was 21st. Cannon Hoover was 67th. Jill Shalley was 81st. Braylon Becker was 103 with a PR as well. And Ryan Bedwell was back with us, He went out just to make sure that, test the waters, that he is good to run, so it wasn't really him out there crushing it, but he definitely was feeling better and was able to complete the course, so that's promising. A few of the kids were definitely faster than they were on that course last year, so all in all, it was a pretty good showing.
Well, goodness, you have two awesome things right there, Coach. You have, first of all, Ryan Bedwell coming back. I mean, that's always good news. And, first run going down, now he's back. Good for him. And, heck, Logan Friedel reaching under 17. I know that's fantastic news. Actually, I know he was shooting for that all year long. That was one of his goals, and he ended up getting it. Heck, what'd you say, 16:53? That's fantastic. Congratulations to Logan Friedel, and heck, he's only a junior. So hopefully next year his goal is to get under 16, get closer to that Mikey Haschel record. No big deal. That's awesome. Good stuff right there, Coach. It's wild to me just sitting here counting how many meets you guys have left, and believe it or not, I can count that high, and I was counting. You guys have 4 meets left. That's not including regionals. So, of course, if we send anybody to regionals or teams, that does not include regionals, but we have 4. So you have New Prairie, Culver Military Academy invite, CMA. We have the Hoosier North, which is home, and then we have sectionals. You guys have 4 left until the season's over. It has just blown on by, Mikey. However, let's talk about your next invitational, and that will be Saturday, New Prairie. Now, this is always a fun one because it's kind of a different, unique course. Goes into the woods, huge. I mean, it's really known for its sand hill, of course. I'm assuming it's still there. Shame on them if they take that away in the course. But go ahead and talk about that course and what needs to happen and what you guys will be practicing on when approaching that sand hill. I know we've done it before when I ran different things to practice that hill. What's your practice technique to work on and practice on the New Prairie Invitational coming this Saturday, Mikey?
Yeah, New Prairie is a pretty important course for us. It is the regional course. It's a technical course. Anytime you got some woods or anything like that, there's some other elements that are involved. That Agony Hill, infamously known as Agony Hill. That's just one part of the course. Try and stress that it's 5K, and that hill is it's a
200 meters at best. Not even, actually. It's more like 100 or 50. But it's where it's placed. It's kind of late in the game, so people are tired and they hit that hill and they just get sluggish. And mainly we just, we've been doing some hill work for the last couple weeks here, and we'll be doing some more leading up to it. This first go around at New Prairie is going to be more so being 100% familiar with that course, so that there's no surprises when it comes to regional. The 4 meets left here before sectional starts, or rather the tournament starts, is, we've got a couple weeks here to do some real work before we start our taper into the tournament time. But yeah, it's pretty wild. The schedule being Saturday, definitely makes it fly by, but it does help for the training as we get into a pretty solid rhythm of what we're doing each week, and being ready to race every Saturday. Because even in regular training, you generally try and always tell your body when to be ready, and well, it's always Saturday. So all the tournament races are on Saturdays, so we'll be ready to rock and roll on Saturdays.
And I'm gonna be honest, Coach. I was a little thrown off when I looked at your guys' schedule and saw meets only on Saturdays. And I was like, what in the world? Why are they cutting some meets out? What are they doing that for? What's going on? But then it totally makes sense now, especially going into conference and sectionals, because heck, I mean, you only worry about one meet, and that's on Saturday. You do all kinds of training for that meet. It's kind of similar to football. You do all kinds of, strategies and practice for that game on Friday. And then here you are, for you guys, Saturday comes around, you're ready to go, itching, ready to go, get this run out of you that you've been training for. So I'm totally down for it now. I wasn't at first, I'm going to be honest, but because I just love multiple meets and games and stuff. But this totally makes sense for you guys. Good luck this Saturday against New Prairie and all the other teams there. Let's move on to the title of this show, and that's Behind the Scenes. I really like to dig deep, Mike Heat, and talk about what goes behind the scenes, besides your role and what all you do. Really highlight and spotlight the managers and coaches. Let's talk about all your managers that you have involved. And then you can also talk about any assistant coaches or anybody that helps out that should really need just a shout out of what all they do. It doesn't even have to be a coach. It can be maybe a parent that's really helped you out. And then talk about your middle school coaches. And, so far, I know we talked about them in the preview episode, but just talk about them so far in their season. Anything that you feel like should be highlighted behind the scenes with your teams, with both of your teams, especially your managers. Let's tackle them first.
Yeah, so behind the scenes with the cross country team, yeah, you mentioned managers. We got a couple great managers with Katie Jones and Marissa Perry. After a meet, I definitely like to look over how things went. It's not as simple as going, well, the gun went off and then we got our finish times. I got both of them splitting up the course, going to the mile marker and the 2 mile marker, and getting those splits for me. And then, afterwards they end up, do the calculations to see which miles, as far as the 2 mile, what that time was, what the mile time was, which gives me a much better perspective as to what's going on during the meets for the kids. Not to mention, like, on some of the harder workouts, they'll be taking care of getting some ice force for ice baths. It's a nice recovery tool. Along with managers, obviously, the parents are huge for us. We got parents bringing snacks and whatnot after races to, refuel after the kids are depleted from races, hosting meals, offering to do whatever they got to do, chaperoning events. So, we got a host of great parents and those that are really involved in, keeping track and just even looking into, like, the competition that's coming up and stuff like that. I got people texting me, I think, how's conference going to look and stuff like that. So the involvement of the parents is huge. Not to mention Leverins, he's obviously, that's, what he does, but, he's been great working with, obviously, our schedule is different. So, that was something that he has completely open to whatever we need to do to make the schedule work for us, and talked about some different meets we want to be part of. He's reaching out to ADs and coaches, trying to make sure we can get in wherever we need to get in. Our middle school coaches, Shannon Bennell and Connor Jones, they're doing a wonderful job with the middle school team. I know that they're running a little skinny club right now, but I know that that's something we're really working on, and what they're doing with the kids right now is it's been fabulous. I've been seeing some pretty great times coming from the middle school program, and I really appreciate the work they're doing. Another thing that's kind of little known is that the elementary school has the run club, which we run in the spring. That brings out a lot of 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders to get on the track and get to a point where they can, either run a mile, complete a mile, or run a mile as fast as they can, depending on their abilities. And there's a whole host of staff members over there that help make that happen. And we're hoping that that'll help with our feeder program. So behind the scenes, there's a whole lot going on, and I know there's quite a few names to try and call out specifically, but those things in general are huge help for us.
Hey, thanks a lot, Coach. That's awesome to hear that you have a support system like that. Thanks a lot for just jumping back on again once a week. You talking about your last invitational, your future ones, and your squad and your support staff. Thanks so much for that. It's still wild to me how you guys only have four guaranteed meets left until you can be able to advance anybody regional, but 4 left of this season, 4 Saturdays. It will fly on by, Mikey. It's just crazy. Well, good luck this week against New Prairie Invitational. Do you have any last words or comments for us today, Coach?
Now, once again, thanks for having us, Justin. 4 meets. It's go time. I hope the kids are ready to start ironing out all the little details that it's going to take to get us rolling here as the season comes to a close. But hope some folks can make it out to some of our meets. Again, New Prairie's a little far away. CMA's not too bad, but conference, that's right in our park. So, make sure and come on out and cheer them on. We appreciate all the support we get. Thanks again. See ya.
Hey, thanks a lot again, Coach. That was Mikey Haschel, the head coach of the Winnemac cross-country teams. Next up, we will have the head coach of the Winnemac volleyball squad. She will go through her last week performances and also go through her behind the scenes of her volleyball program, talking about managers and assistant coaches. Hey, you're doing it. You're listening to the Winnemac Athletic Podcast.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Lindsay, student athlete for Winnemac High School, and you're listening to Winnemac Athletic Podcast.
Welcome back to the Winnemac Athletic Podcast. Today, we are absolutely thrilled once again to have the head coach of the Winnemac volleyball team and Coach Heather Caston. How's it going, Coach? Thanks again for joining us on this show. You have a lot to go over today. Let's talk about yesterday's matchup against North Miami, and how you girls did and those matchups of your volleyball squad.
Last night at North Miami, played tough. Baby ended up going 3 sets. They won the first one in extra points, 26-24. Dropped the second one, 25-19. And the third one ended up going extra points, also 16-14. But we just could not hang on. It was hit and miss there for a while. Varsity, we definitely played tougher at North Miami than we have been. I felt like our middles did an amazing job of running the net. They had a huge outside, their number 8, as an outside hitter there at North Miami. Cadwell could get up and put the ball down anywhere if he wanted. And Marissa Iverson, Briscoe, they both did an amazing job of just lining up with that hitter. We had 3 or 4 great full-on blocks that earned us some points. Our serving was so much better out North Miami. We only had 5 service errors in the 3 sets that we played. But we end up dropping all 3 of those sets, 25-15, and the last 2, 25-9. We had some really nice rallies. I felt like the effort was at least there. We, didn't have the people that could put the ball down at the end, but our defense looked amazing. We covered our hitters like it was nobody's business. I mean, our hitters were going out and swinging as hard as they could, and they were getting some good touches on the other side of the net and putting that ball right back, and we were there to back up our hitters. So super proud of that. We did swing a lot more than we sent free balls. I felt like we utilized the free balls they sent us very well. So definitely play-wise a 180 from last week. So looking forward to moving into Thursday against Oregon Davis. It is our grandparents' night, so hopefully we've got lots of people coming out to support our girls and families. Oregon Davis, they, took their set from Culver. I mean, they can do great things. I know the record doesn't look like it at 1-14, but I mean, any team is beatable, including us. So I hope the girls don't come in and think you got this game won. We're going to have to go out and put in the effort that we did at North Miami.
That's fantastic, Coach. And then you also have a invitational for JV and varsity. Varsity's going to the Tippecanoe Valley Invitational, and that will be Saturday at 10 a.m. And then JV will be going to Henry Harrison High School in West Lafayette there. So splitting up, if the schedule's still correct, hopefully it is. Your squads are splitting up a little bit, but that's good activity for both squads. Let's talk about those future matchups, Coach, in Oregon Davis and then, excuse me, in that invitational that you have this week.
Yeah, Saturday we are splitting up for the first time this season. Our varsity is traveling to Tippy Valley. Up in New Curva. It's not been in our own yet. We actually got that picked up as a replacement. We had originally planned to go to Northfield over Labor Day weekend, and they ended up moving that tournament to September because they were struggling to get officials and things over that holiday weekend. Well, once they moved it, then they were struggling to have teams show up because they already had other commitments, other tournaments they were in. So they ended up canceling that Northfield tournament, and when we reached out about any possible varsity tournaments to fill that void for us, Tippy Valley had an opening. Jimtown had dropped out of their tournament. So I don't know too much about it. I do know North Judson, I think maybe Pioneer, a couple other of our conference teams are in there, but also some other teams that we don't typically see. So hopefully we are in a couple sets with them that we can see some new teams and get some good touches. And maybe we'll be at Harrison. That's an annual tournament for us. Some really good teams, including Harrison, Pioneer, Culver. They always give us a good run, the Academy. So they should have a good run Saturday, both teams at Tippy Valley and Harrison. Super excited to see what they can come home with.
Well, that's fantastic, Coach. Good luck against those squads. Represent the Warriors well. Next up, we have to talk about the behind the scenes. And with this episode, we're talking about, really highlighting, spotlighting those managers that you have on your staff. I know you have a couple of them that you like to talk about. Pretty good managers that you have. Let's talk about them, Coach. All the roles and responsibilities they have. And as with the assistant coaches, I know you have a new one in Maggie Smith, taller Maggie Smith, and you talk about her role as well and just what all they do. I know as managers, the importance of that is it's just unreal. All the stuff that the managers do and, really sometimes get unrecognized on all the good stuff that they do. So let's really highlight and spotlight them for a second and really go through their roles and responsibilities. And anything else, Coach, any other, people that you think that should be shouted out or spotlighted that, not really on your staff, but really, behind the scenes do awesome stuff to help you and your program, Coach?
Oh, yes, my favorite. I cannot function without my managers. I know that they don't get seen or heard as much as they should, but here we have two fantastic senior managers. We have Camden Long and Allison Vitas. These are both first-year managers for us, but just wonderful, wonderful kids. I mean, they've got great attitudes. They're hard workers. They're both very involved with school. So I try really hard to provide flexible opportunities for all of our kids. That include my players and my managers. to be a part of as many different things as they can, especially your senior year. I know I've got a couple of my girls that are in the play, as well as Camden. I know she's putting in a lot of time with Mr. Stretro, so it's something that we can get by with, and they just let me know about their schedule, whether it's work, play practice, other sports, whatever it is that they're involved in. I don't want to be the selfish coach. So as long as they're communicating with me and we're still having our needs taken care of, I'm happy to accommodate that. But they do a wonderful job of just keeping water bottles filled, loading the bus for games, making sure we've got our med kit stocked. I've got my camera, my chargers, and all of those things that we need for away games. They help set up for the home games, making sure our squads are out and our, girls have what they need, get ready to warm up. Practices, I definitely could not do without them. So figuring out for practice here, they are more than willing to dump in and crowd or handballs to us coaches during practice drills. I can put Cameron at the net if I need to. I mean, he's tall kid. He can do some work out there. So very blessed to have them with us. Also, shout out to my assistant coach, Maggie. I mean, she's got full plate this semester, and she's putting in the time, and she's there for our girls. She's done an amazing job working with our hitters and our blockers, just working on that training and footwork, and just the mindset of being a strong, aggressive hitter and running that net. So, super blessed to have them. I know our middle school staff is working hard down there, and I feel bad I don't see them nearly as much as I would, but tonight, actually, our middle school 7th and 8th grade are playing at home, and we have practice. So we're going to actually get to see our 7th, 8th grade play. So excited to go support Steph Keller and Regina Martin as our 7th and 8th grade coaches. Taylor Casson's doing a phenomenal job with our 6th graders. I got to travel to Culver this past Saturday when they were at their HNAC tournament. They played Culver super tough. They came out and really scrapped against Caston. Was super proud of them going 2-1 over there this weekend. So I know there's great things coming up with the people that we have in place, and definitely our parents. That's probably our biggest support system that we don't give enough praise to, but they're providing breakfast after Friday morning practices, dinners after late away games. They are the ones that helped me set up my grandparents' night, senior night, and blackout cancer night. There was no way that I could do what I do without them. They are the behind the scenes extra help that we all need. So huge shout out to them and just their support and willingness to go above and beyond for these girls, because I know how hard it is to have girls involved in everything, and they just make it work. So very thankful for all of them.
Yeah, thanks again, Coach. I mean, I can't tell you enough the importance of a good supporting staff. It's just, it's really important, and to have, pretty much all of our squads in the fall, in the whole school, really, just have really good managers, student athletes coming in and doing all that work is just awesome. And assistant coaches, I do believe we have some really good assistant coaches now that, that been through it sometimes, and they really just know the game. I know Maggie Smith's been through it. She's had some volleyball knowledge, and she's played that game before. So to have, some coaching staff like that, it's fantastic. So, hey, thanks a lot again, Coach, for talking about that. Good luck this week against Oregon Davis in the Invitational for both varsity and JV. Do you have any last words or comments for us today, Coach?
I just want to say thanks for having me on again and supporting our team and our girls. Hopefully everybody can make an effort to come out Thursday night and watch us take on Oregon Davis and add another W to our win column.
Hey, I appreciate your time, Coach. Thanks for jumping on. That was the head coach of the Winnemac volleyball team and Coach Heather Caston. We did not have time to communicate with the head coach of the soccer team, Coach Carlos Badaya, but he had nothing but good things to say about his supporting system when it comes to his managers, and especially his assistant coach and Coach Ulrich. He said that he just does a fantastic job of just making his job easier as the head coach of the Winnemac soccer team. So he's completely blessed and honored to have such a good supporting system when it comes to parents, coaches, and managers there. So unfortunately couldn't get him on, but of course we will have him on to talk about more of his soccer squad. And just like that, we did it. We just wrapped up our 10th episode of this podcast. We are in double figures. Good luck to all of our squads this week. Good luck to our girls golf team, of course. They have sectionals next week. Next time we're on 8, they will have that already completed. So good luck to everyone else. We're in double figures this podcast, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. Hey, thank you for listening. This is the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Winamac Athletic Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Sanders Foods. Whatever you're looking for, you'll find it at your hometown grocery store. First Federal Savings Bank. They don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Riverside Rentals. Discover canoeing, kayaking, and lazy river tubing right here in Winamac. Action Plumbing and Heating for all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Been serving people since 1994. We would like to thank our sponsors for sponsoring today's show and being part of the Winamac Athletic Podcast.
Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe. Go Warriors!